Good day, seniors and active adults. Welcome back to our YouTube podcast, Get Your Weekly Slice, where we protect, inform, and educate you, our seniors and active adults, every week about what you should know as you age. It is about keeping you, our seniors, in the know. Let's begin. This is going to be about aging at home, this topic. And it's going to be a three-part series. The first series is going to be about the good and the not so good. Do I move or do I stay put? Those are all tough decisions. And I think the number one decision that is going to move you is going to be your health. Are you able to do the things around your house which you're most comfortable living in or aging in? Are you able to still do it? Is your health still in optimum range? Are you still able to do the yard work, the housework, maintain and upkeep this house like you've done the last 25, 30, 35 plus years? That's the telling question. Are you able to do it? And I know it's a difficult decision. It's a tough decision. But I want you to understand that as a certified senior housing professional, the one thing I want you to do is stay in your home as long as you can, because I do know that is where you're going to be the most happiest because you're familiar with the surroundings. And again, I don't want you to wait too long. I want you to be proactive as opposed to reactive. And I'm going to stress that always. All the seminars that I do, all the podcasts that I do, I stress being proactive as opposed to reactive. Because if you're proactive, that means you're still in control. If you're reactive, you're not in control, or your control is taken away from you. You have limited control, and that's not what you want. You, as an individual, have a lot of pride, and you still want to be in control of your destiny. So, do I move or do I stay put? So, I'm going to share with you some of the good things about staying put and some of the bad things or not so good that are good. It's going to allow you to think about, is this where I'm the most happiest, aging at my home, or would I consider aging somewhere else? But a lot of decisions depend on your family. And if your family's nearby, they're close, if they live out of state, do I move there? Do I stay here? If they're up there, what happens? A lot of things go on. But again, I want you to know that as a certified senior housing professional working as a niche for seniors and active adults, I understand all of those emotions that you're going through. And it's why I have that certification and why I like working with seniors and active adults to help you or provide you with a lot of different options that can help make a better decision for you where you're going to be the happiest. So, again, it can take a month, 6 months, a year, 2 years to 5 years before you make that decision if you want to continue aging at home or if you'd like to age at a different home or community. It's entirely up to you. It's a decision you have to make. So I know the good are that you have a lot of memories where you're at. You raise your family there. Your grandkids know it as grandma and grandpas. You've had a lot of events, a lot of milestones that took place living in that home. Again, it all comes back to memories. And it's kind of hard to kind of give up the home where all of those memories took place. And we know that. And I think everybody knows that. But we also know it's a comfort zone for you. You're familiar with the house, the landscaping, the inside. You made a lot of changes throughout the years. And really, some of those changes are for the best. It made you like your home even more because you were able to change what made you happy. And aging at home, again, it's a tough decision, but life is all about change. And we have to understand and accept how do we best adjust to this change because change is inevitable. It is always there every turn we take. Now, we do understand that aging at home also, you're familiar with the community. You know you want to stay. At least that's your top priority is to stay and age at home because you've got your friends and your neighbors close by. But keep in mind, your friends and your neighbors, some of those are moving, making those decisions. They can't stay in their homes any longer because of their health, or their family wants them to move closer to them. So as they start moving out, you're still there. You still have the capability of making friends with new neighbors. But for the most part, those new neighbors are going to have children and families. And it's not going to be the same because you had a relationship with your past friends and neighbors who lived in the area or next door to you, and you build a relationship. And now they've moved on. And in some cases, they died. And the house gets sold, and then a new family moves in, and here you become the elder on the block. There's nothing wrong with that. I've always, growing up, got along with my elders. I always connected with them. And I think a lot of that has to do with why I created or worked or am doing a niche in real estate, working specifically with seniors and active adults, because I always got along with them. Always had great conversations with my family members who were the elders, great aunts, great uncles, etc. in my family. But I also know that you have your church is local, again, comfort zone. And if you're outgoing, you went to a lot of restaurants and you became friends with the bartender or the hostess or the waitress at these restaurants. And there's specific things that you like to do. You like to go there, you like to chat with them. And it's all about familiarity. Can't say that real quick. But in any event, you know what it is. You know the surroundings. And shopping's close by, grocery store, home goods, clothing stores, etc. They're all close by. You know how to get to them. Your doctors, your medical, it's all in the same area you've established over 20, 25, 30, 40 years. But the one thing that I also notice about doctors and medical is even though we continue to get older, so do our doctors. And our doctors are either retiring or because of the current healthcare situation, they're leaving their practice and they're not there anymore. And I think a lot of seniors and active adults are starting to see the change with some of these doctors and medical centers that they're not as close to their patient as we've always experienced in the past, where we could have that conversation with our doctor about our health, what we can do to improve our health. But there's not a lot of that one-on-one anymore. It's about getting you in, getting you out, getting paid. That's what it seems like. And of course, what I've always experienced is if I had good insurance, they always wanted me to come in more frequently because they knew they were going to get paid and get paid rather well compared to some of these other plans out there where they don't get paid quite as well, or they're dependent on that patient out of pocket expense. And let's be honest with each other, that out of pocket expense can be pretty expensive. So those are some of the things that keep us in our home, aging at home, and we all get it. But again, it comes back down to that one thing. It's about health. And a secondary, it can be the expenses. The expenses might be getting more because insurance rates are going up, utilities are going up, landscaping's going up if you have someone else do it. If you have a pool and you have somebody else do it, it's going up. All the expenses are going up. And if you're living in a big footprint and it's becoming unmanageable and you're not using, all of the space, you really need to do a comparison with expenses. What today's expenses are, because you really know what the expenses were years ago. And would it be best to relieve you from being in a liquidity deficiency on a monthly basis? Would it be best to start doing a comparison about what other options are out there? But the one person that can help you with that is a certified senior housing professional to find out what is best financially for you if that is a concern of yours. But in most cases, it'll be health. And we, as certified senior housing professionals, again, want you to be proactive as opposed to reactive. We don't want you to wait too long when making that decision if you notice a decline in your health. Because if you wait too long, you become in that reactive mode as opposed to the proactive mode, which we would most like to have you be in. So the not so good would be the maintenance on the house. It's becoming more. And again, it goes back to your friends and neighbors. If you had a certain AC company, a roofing company, a handyman, etc., they might have went out of business, sold the business, moved on, or retired from the business. And it's about finding that trusted service that's out there that's not going to take advantage of you. And again, it comes back to me, certified senior housing professional. I have a network of people who I vetted that I can refer out to you, and I don't get paid any referrals, but I can refer out to you that I know will do the work, and they might not be the cheapest, but they'll be competitive, but they'll do the work. And if you're not satisfied, they'll come back and make sure that you are a satisfied customer. So that means a lot to me. I could sleep at night, not worrying about, if I referred this one, if they took care of them or not. But all the ones that I refer out, I know they're going to be taken care of from the people that I work with. And again, the not so good is the yard. Is it becoming too much if you're doing it for yourself? And if you are doing it for yourself and feel that it's too much, do you want to start hiring a landscaper to come in and do that? That's going to be an extra monthly expense. Keep that in mind. Cleaning. I know that most people have always cleaned their houses. But it comes to a point as you age that it becomes a little bit more difficult. And then do you continue to clean to exhaust yourself so you don't have enough time to spend in your retirement? Or do you pay someone to come and clean your house for you? Again, another expense. Now, let's face it, if you're living in a 2-story house, you raise your family there for 25 plus years, and you're not using the upstairs, and you're only using a few rooms downstairs. Are you optimizing that big space? And wouldn't it make more sense? Again, it's your decision based off health, financial, etc. If you want to continue to live in that house and not utilize all those rooms, because you still got to clean the rooms. You still got to go into the rooms if it's up the second floor, or if it's a big 1-story house of over 3,000 square feet. Still a lot. As you age, it becomes a lot. So do you want to continue not using all those rooms? I mean, I think, and I'm sure you think as well, it might be a little bit more manageable if you did have a smaller space. But then again, I know there's one other thing that's in the back of your mind that you're worried about. If you have a big footprint, want to move to a small footprint or to another one, that you don't want to deal with the downsizing or the liquidating of all the stuff that you have. But again, as a certified senior housing professional, I have those connections that can help you liquidate and reduce a lot of that. And you have to decide what you want to keep. That person can help you decide what you keep. And the rest of it, you either do an estate sale, online auction, just to start liquidating and getting rid of some of that stuff, because it becomes a burden for you. And it's always in the back of your mind, what am I going to do with all that stuff? But all that stuff is a mindset that you have to establish and make sure how you want to get rid of all of that stuff. But it's going to be more difficult if you allow your health to decline to get rid of all that stuff, do the yard, do the maintenance, etc. So again, it comes back to you making that decision. Do I stay put or do I move on? Keep in mind, change is inevitable. We all have it. We all see it. And if it's just you, or if it's you and your husband or wife, the cooking becomes tasking as well. What do you fix for somebody, for yourself and or for another? And are you getting proper nutrition? In most cases, no. Especially if you're single, living at home, widow or widower. You don't want to go out, especially during the pandemic. You're going to the store, all you're doing is buying lean cuisines or TV dinners, and occasionally you're buying something hot to have at home. But if you can afford it, which is a good thing, then you're ordering out at the restaurants that you used to go to that you're in fear of going to because of the pandemic. There's always one solution to that, and it's just quit watching the news, because that's all they do is portray negativity, and they put that fear into seniors and active adults. And I'm seeing it more and more as I work with this niche. So I want that, keep that in mind as well, because if you make a transition, and if you're able health wise, you're still able to adhere to a good nutrition, new balance, exercise, etc. But if your health is declining and you need to move into an independent assisted memory care community or a CCRC where it's independent assisted memory care all on one campus, that's a benefit for you because you're secure in those locations. And another thing to consider, I know I spoke about your health, spoke about the finances, but the one thing, another thing I should say, that's going to make that change, do you stay or do you move, is going to be your driving and the traffic in your area. I know from experience where I live, the traffic becomes horrendous. And at my young age, it's hard for me to deal with it. I do, but I kind of put myself in your shoes at 80, 85, 90 and plus still driving. How do you put up with this? The traffic's becoming more intense. The drivers are more rude, and it's just exhausted when you go out. And what used to take you 3 to 5 minutes to get to a destination within your community is now taking you 15 minutes. And I do know, even at my young age and at your age, patience is a virtue. But in any event, either it's health, it's financial, or it's your driving. So all of those things lead into the good and not so good. And I'm just trying to help you out, giving you food for thought as to how you can arrive or make that decision. Do I stay or do I move? And if I stay, what's available out there? And I'll get into that in my next series, part 2. What's available if you stay? What network I can provide for you if you stay? And what network I've provided and my expertise working with seniors and active adults that can help you make that decision if you decide to move. So it comes back to you, what you want. Do you want to age at home where you think you'll be the most happiest? Or would you like options to find out what else is available out there that might make you more happier? So that's what, as a certified senior housing professional, that I provide for our seniors and active adults in the Orlando area. And again, it'll come down to expenses, and it's easy for us to compare what you're currently spending, what it's going to cost, and kind of bring it all in together as to what type of community or living space that you'll transition to that's going to be affordable for what you have and what's available. So I want you to keep that in mind. I want you to look forward to part 2 of Aging at Home. And these are also a part of the Smarter Senior Seminar Series events that are held at the Orange County Library System. And it's about keeping you, our seniors, in the know. In closing, I hope you enjoyed today's Get Your Weekly Slice. If you'd like to discuss further today's topic, you can reach me via email at mike@your, Y-O-U-R, Florida, spelled out, Haven, Haven.com, or call me at 407-340-5291 to set up an appointment. I provide a free 1.5-hour in-person meeting to discuss your future plans on aging while providing you a minimum of 3 options to choose from. Don't forget to follow us and like us on Facebook and Instagram. While on my website at yourfloridahaven.com, sign up for my monthly newsletter, RSV to any of my in-person events, which are held at the Orange County Library, Smarter Senior Seminar Series events, and to view any and all of my videos and podcasts. We hope these podcasts are helpful, and if they are, please share with your friends, family, and neighbors by letting them know what we offer as certified senior housing professionals, designated real estate agents, to our seniors and active adults as they age. We're a connector. It is about keeping seniors in the know. Till next time, when you come back to get your weekly slice.